What's up, guys? This is Chris Kohler with Wired.com. We're here at the Gears of War 2 event with Cliff Bleszinski, who is the design director at Epic Games. Now, Cliff, I was reading on the internet that Gears of War 2 is bigger and better and also more badass than every other Gears of War game put together combined.
Well, considering that there's only one Gears of War game, I don't know how much that says, but we're basically just saying that the game, it's a more epic scale, but it's also more intimate. There's a larger scale of battle when you're going through the campaign. There's tons of choppers that are fighting the flying Reavers, and you're on these derrick trucks, and the locations you go to vary from the depths of the underground all the way to like the highest snow-capped peak in the planet. But also there's more executions, there's more of a personal story, there's more, in-your-face action. So it's bigger, but it's also more intimate.
So a lot of the focus of the game is in the two-player co-op mode. Is that a really big thing that you're working on right now?
Well, we're doing a two-player cooperative in the main campaign, and then we have a new mode called Horde, which is up to 5 players cooperative, in which basically 5 guys get together and deal with wave after wave of increasingly difficult Locust. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like a Smash TV meets Geometry Wars.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it sounds like an old-school arcade-style game. So you pretty much just you play until you die, right?
I mean, we're looking at probably about 50 waves, and the first person that hits 50 waves gets a cookie from me, because in the office we're having a hard time testing it because we can only get to like wave 26. So we're going to have to bring in some ringers before we ship to make sure it's actually physically possible to get to wave 50.
So you're also announcing a couple other things about the single-player game, like things that you can ride on, maybe?
Yeah, we've been bugged a lot about vehicles, because everyone loves vehicles, and we do have the Centaur, which is our tank. It's kind of like a monster truck meets a tank. Mm-hmm. And then we've confirmed here at E3 that you can ride the Brumac, which is kind of a large Gears creature. It's like 3-4 stories tall with big guns on it. Mm-hmm. And then also we slipped in a little detail that you get to ride the Reavers at one point in the campaign, which are kind of those like flying squid-like creatures. So we have several vehicular sections in the game. Entertainment, intimate violence is what we're going for.
Anything else you want to tell us about Gears of War 2?
I just think we're going to really surprise people with the sheer scope of the campaign mode, and I think they're really going to enjoy getting to know who these guys are in Delta Squad a little bit better. And I think they're going to really enjoy playing the multiplayer, the party system, and kind of, really digging in with all the new game modes and all the new multiplayer maps we have. It's really a complete and wonderful package.
Nice. Well, Cliff, thanks a lot for being here. I know I'm really looking forward to it. I know everybody's pretty much going to buy it, so...
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you. Ah, the Power Glove. If you weren't a child in the late 80s, you have no idea why we all wanted one of these. This was back during what we now have to refer to as Nintendo's first ride at the top of the video game industry, when they were so powerful that they could get small children to sit in a theater and watch a 90-minute advertisement for their products. Yes, I am talking about The Wizard.
What is that?
Fire from the gods.
I don't know. Power Glove. I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
Oh, Lucas Barton, we all wanted to be you and have a Power Glove. I mean, God, look what this thing did. You could actually control a video game just by moving your hand in the air. This was the future. This was Lawnmower Man. This was virtual reality right here in 1989. And when Mattel released the Power Glove that holiday season, it flew off the shelves. So, how did this thing work? Well, the Power Glove was based on virtual reality glove input devices that at the time were being used by places like, NASA and MIT, except for they cost about $10,000. So what Mattel had to do was to create something that was actually consumer level cheap, about $100. And so the way that it calculates the positioning of the glove in space is using ultrasonic receivers, aka a bunch of really cheap microphones. That's what's attached to the TV in back of me. The Power Glove itself had ultrasonic emitters, aka really cheap speakers, that would send out those sort of ultrasonic, beeps that humans can't hear but drives dogs crazy. And then the sensors on the TV, the reason that there's 3 of them, they would pick up the beep and then they would use a formula to triangulate where the sound was coming from, and then it would know the position of the glove in space. Meanwhile, inside each of the fingers of the glove were strips of conductive ink. You can see it right there. Basically, this is what they would use to print circuit boards. Now, a problem with conductive ink is that when you bend conductive ink, it changes the way that it conducts electricity. This was perfect for the Power Glove because these strips, basically, as you bent your fingers, would send signals back to the glove, letting you know that your fingers were bent. And so to move a character up, down, left, and right, you'd move the glove like this, and then you'd actually just bend your fingers to hit the A and B buttons. How did it work? Well, it was pretty much horrible. Okay, Baker, so I'm gonna start you off with something nice and easy. Super Mario Brothers. Everybody knows Super Mario Brothers, right? So you're gonna hold your hand here. We're gonna center you. So press the center button. So that's your center right here. So if you move your hand to the right, you're gonna start running to the right. Move it up a little bit because you're hitting down and right. Okay, now you're hitting up and oh, there we go. Okay, all right. Mario's running. Yep, and you're just gonna squeeze your thumb just like that, and that's gonna make you jump. You're not hitting right though. You're not no, that's left. You got to go right.
There are little split seconds where it feels like I'm actually controlling the movement. And
Yeah,
it's gone.
Well, I love how you're running backwards because of the you're holding down and right at the same time, which makes Mario run backwards. It's cute. But no, move your hand more to the right, So you got to use the little LCD things because that's gonna show you where. Oh, you got to jump. You got to jump. You got to flex your thumb. So, what do you think of the Power Glove so far?
I wish it worked.
But it looks really cool.